Well, junior doctor, Dr Bhasha Mukherjee, voted for the strikes, and she's here along with former Labour advisor Scarlett Maguire, who says it's the wrong time to strike. Good morning to both of you. Thank you for coming in to discuss this. So, Scarlett, shall we start with you then, and you explain why you think this is the wrong thing to be doing?
So last year, the resident doctors went on strike, and they were given, as you said, a 22% pay increase. And lots of people said, if you give that to them, they'll just come back for more. And I absolutely supported them going on strike, and I supported the pay increase without conditions. And now they come back for more. Look, the whole of the public sector are getting 5% or less as a pay increase. I do not understand why the resident doctors seem more important than the nurses and the teachers and the policemen, than the service people. I mean, it's crazy, right? There is no money.
She makes the point, doesn't she, that in September, most of us, both in the journalistic spectrum and the voters out there, thought, phew, it's settled. The government have settled it. We can stop worrying about junior doctor strikes. And here we are again. You're threatening to go out in a couple of weeks' time. And yet, as you say, you've got 23%. You've got above inflation this year. What makes you so special?
I will say that we're not special, but as the public have said, we are an essential service. And I think you'll agree that although every job is very important, the role of doctors is essential for the NHS to function. And already we're seeing the NHS crumbling as it is. And the narrative that's shown is that the 22% that was given was all at once. It was actually slowly increased over the last 2 years. It's not the case that the junior doctors got a pay rise and they want more again. The concept was always about pay restoration to the levels of 2008.
But why
that
do you
was
have to
the deal.
strike to make those points? Because, I mean,
because the communication has broken
last
down.
Year. They're done and dusted now. There's a sense, I'm not saying I think this, but there's a sense that you've got a bit trigger-happy about going on strike. It's a nuclear option. And as doctors, it is a very serious option, probably more serious than almost any other industry that you can think of. Shouldn't you be at least giving negotiation a bit more of a go?
100%, and this is what's been happening for the last 6 months of negotiation, and that's clearly broken down. And that's after West Streeting's newest offer, which was about 0.9% above inflation rate, which would take 20 years for us to get to pay restoration. And the deal was struck in November based upon a journey, a reasonably achievable journey of reaching pay restoration, which was always what the junior doctors' strike was about.
West Streeting is basically telling you to whistle for it. He's going to take a firm stand on this. The signals are very, very clear from his ministry. How far are you prepared to push it?
Well, this is going to be down to the members, of course, and each time, I mean, this is going to be a 6-month period where the junior doctors have, the resident doctors have voted to strike. So if required, that would mean that we would be going for strike in the subsequent next 6 months. But we're always open to conversation, even up until the last minute of the strike, during the strikes. We're always open to conversation. And West Streeting has shown that he is a good person to negotiate with us. He brought the strikes to an end last year.
Why threaten him with a strike? I mean, are you not disturbed that somebody here says that she had full support for you last year, completely agreed with your right to strike, even though that does go against the Hippocratic Oath, had no issues with it, but she's sitting there now and saying you're going too far?
I do see why you would feel that way, that it's too much. But ultimately, the narrative I feel around, the public's dwindling support for the strikes, I think that's down to the narrative that's been shown on the media, that there's an overarching negative outlook on why the doctors are striking without actually looking at the numbers specifically. And actually looking at my own comment section on my social media where I discuss the exact numbers of what it looks like, what we're actually asking for at the base pay level, there is support there. So I think it depends on what the public actually knows and are told.
Come back to you then.
I mean, I don't think there's a media narrative. I mean, possibly the media saying that that most of you earn at least £38,000, which an awful lot of people have.
doesn't go
But
very far
what I do
anymore.
not understand is why you think you're special. I mean, the problem is that there isn't any money. The public sector, which is absolutely vital, not just you, right? I mean, you know, I think teachers are vital, actually. I think fire officers are vital. I think the police are vital. I think all of those, they're getting 5%. I do not understand why you think you should get more when we know there's no money. And also when we're just beginning to turn around the health, so that waiting lists are actually on the way down, right? And public support has fallen. I mean, it's fallen from 52 to 26%. It's going to go down further when people find themselves really affected. We know that what happened when you went on strike, that it was bad for the health. It really matters, right? You matter. You do a fantastic job.
Well, when you say bad for the health service, what you're really saying is it was bad for patients. And you do take the oath to do no harm. And you know that going on strike, particularly if it turns into a protracted dispute, you know it's going to do harm. It's going to mean people missing appointments. It's likely going to mean premature deaths.
Let me tell you something. I sit in my clinic room apologising every day to my patients about the state of the NHS, and this is regardless of the strikes. Unfortunately, the public are losing faith in the NHS overarchingly, with or without the strikes. And the narrative, and I will say this, the media narrative is to blame the state of the NHS on the strikes, when in reality, the reason why a lot of these appointments are being missed and a lot of these delays are happening is down to we're losing doctors, we're losing NHS staff, we're not having continuity of care, we're having to import doctors from other countries, we're having to import locum staff who just cannot give the same level of service.
Bring the curtain down on that, but I do take issue with you when you say you think that the media narrative is that the reason the NHS is in the hiatus it's in is because of the junior doctor strike. I don't think anyone's saying that. I've not read anybody saying that that's the root cause of the problems with the NHS. But anyway, I think we'll have to come back on that.
Thank you
both very much
for
indeed.
joining us.
You qualify as a GP soon, don't you?
Yes.
Well, good luck with that.
Thank you.
It's 7:47. Still to come. Well, those of us who remember